Well, I'll tell you what, putting someone on an exact hand is really difficult. No one could ever do it except me. No, I'm just kidding. I've done it on television from time to time. And, well, I'll give you an example of how I sort of, picked apart one of Freddie Deeb's hands. In one of the tournaments I played, it was a televised event. It was an interesting situation that came down. Freddie, it all comes down to tendencies. You got to know your opponent. Freddie'd raised on the button, and I called in the small blind. And I had flop top pair. I had tens. And the board came like 10-8 blank, and it goes check, check, and the turn is a jack, and it goes check, check, and then the river's a 7. So I had a queen 10. I I still had the pair of tens, but now a 9 makes a straight. So I checked to Freddie, and Freddie bets. And here's the thing. I mean, I know Freddie probably has it because he's not going to, he's not going to. If he was bluffing, he probably would have bluffed on the flop or the turn. He's probably not going to make what I call the rookie bluff and wait till the river. So in this spot, I'm thinking to myself, well, he probably has a 9. What kind of 9 would he have? Okay. Now he raised on the button, so he probably has a decent 9, not like a 9-3 or 9 deuce. If he had a pair, if he had like 9-8, 9-10, 9-jack, any one of those hands, he's probably going to bet on the flop or the turn. So the fact that he didn't bet on any of those straights, I said to myself, he raised flop. His most likely hand is ace-9. So I looked at him and said, what do you got, ace-9 over there? And he did. I made the call like a donkey, but that's besides the point. Okay. But there's a lot of ways that you can, the best way to practice this is to really just pay a lot of attention to the kind of hands people play and look for betting patterns. And also, any sort of physical tells you pick up on people for when they're comfortable, it all kind of adds up. But what you do is as a hand develops, you sort of like narrow down the range, okay? So let's say, a guy limps in from early position, okay? You got to know something about this guy to be able to read his hand. Let's say for a fact, he's even said earlier, he's like, I don't limp in with aces and kings. That's stupid. I would never do that. So, okay, well, now you know. It's probably not one of those hands. He's probably one of those guys that maybe has pocket 6s or 8-9 suited, okay? So now you've narrowed down his hand just a little bit. Now, the flop comes out, and based on his betting, you might be able to narrow it down even further. Let's say, for example, it comes 10-6 deuce, and now he decides to check raise you and make a big play at the pot. Well, right here we know he doesn't have aces or kings because he said, I don't play hands like that. Probably not 10, so what would you guess? I'm going to guess pocket 6s. Probably 50-50. He either has a set of 6s or a set of deuces. You can pretty much rule out the 7-8 suited or the 8-9 suited because he's really going to check raise you with that kind of hand. So it really just comes down to being smart about hand reading, And once you can narrow down their hands, you're never going to know 100% for sure, but if you continue to do it every hand, and not just the hands that you're actually playing, but the hands that you're out of, try to figure this out. I mean, I watched some of the best players when they're out of hands, and they're always thinking, well, what'd you have? Kenny Tran comes to mind in cash games. He's not even in hands. He's like, what'd you have? King 5? You have 9-6? I'm like, dude, how does this guy do this? So just really paying attention to betting patterns and picking up on player tendencies. Start with a range, slowly but surely narrow it down, and then try to look like a genius on TV by calling out their cards, and then when you're beat, try folding. I never do that.